SaralaGuru, Nava, Daham, Maga. SaralaGuru New Dhamma Way channel is purely created for non-profit educational purposes and truly for charity purposes. Teaching Dhamma is the greatest teaching. Essence of Buddhism 5. Nirodha Satyaya. Text by Most Venerable Rerukani Chandavimala Mahanayaka Thera. May you attain the supreme bliss of Nirvana. Dukka nirodarya Satya, the cessation of suffering. Monks, what is the noble truth of cessation of suffering? Complete eradication of craving without sediment. If something is done in totally destroying craving, if something is done so that it will not re-emerge, if totally released from the bond of craving and no more attachment to it, this I call the noble truth of the cessation of suffering. What is the cessation of suffering? The complete eradication of craving, which is the cause of suffering, so that it will never re-emerge, is dukka nirodarya Satyaya. The shattering of the existing mental activities, sanskara, is also called nirodha or cessation. The cessation intended in Nirodha Satya is the cessation of the craving which can arise in the future. Cessation without any more craving remaining further. If someone has no craving, no attachment towards his wealth, family, his own life, objects of senses such as forms and sound, or if free from sensual desires, despite staying with a beautiful goddess like nymph on the same bed. If someone has no craving, no attachment towards his wealth, family, his own life, objects of senses such as forms and sound, or if free from sensual desires despite staying with a beautiful goddess-like nymph on the same bed. This state of non-craving is explained as niravashesha nirodha. Even the being is free from craving, and if the 5 skandhas exist, the being is not free from suffering. Main thing is to get free from 5 skandhas based suffering. Dukka cannot be eradicated while the dukkha generating craving exists. Cause is craving, result is dukkha. If one eradicates craving, the cause of dukkha, that itself is the end of dukkha. Therefore, the exact way to eradicate dukkha is destroying tanha, craving, which is the cause of dukkha. Cutting a tree which is to bear fruits in the future is the best way to destroy the fruits. Similarly, destroying craving is the destruction of resulting suffering. The elimination of total suffering is Nirodha Satya, the cessation of suffering. If there is something the Buddhists expect as the ultimate achievement as nirvana, it is nothing but dukka, nirodarya, satya. Some think nirvana as something valueless, devoid of pleasure, not to be wished, a fearful emptiness. No, some think nirvana as something valueless, devoid of pleasure, not be wished, a fearful emptiness. No. Nirvana is a subtle form of pleasure, eternally prevailing. There are two types of happiness in the world. There are two types of happiness in the world, Kama Sukha and Vimukti Sukha. Sukha is happiness. The happiness due to objects of senses such as forms, sound, smells, tastes and touch is called Kama Sukha. Pleasure that arises by foods, clothes, gold, silver, pearls, money and attachment to family and beloved ones is Kama Sukha. Getting freed from harmful incidents and misfortunes is Vimukti Sukha. Kama Sukha is tangible. Therefore it is called Vedaita Sukha. Vimukti Sukha is intangible. Kama Sukha is tangible. Therefore it is called Vedaita Sukha. Vimukti Sukha is intangible. The mind which apprehends an object as pleasurable is momentary as a flash of lightning. The mind which apprehends an object as pleasurable is momentary as a flash of lightning. This mind perishes even less than the time taken for a batting of an eyelid. This mind is void of any value. This mind perishes even less than the time taken for a batting of an eyelid. This mind is void of any value. As it is related to the skandhas, its pleasure is an organismic nature. Vimukti is not something that goes off in a flash. It lasts long and everlasting. People make great dedications to Kama Sukha. They do so because of delusion. The future has no end. If a being does not attain Nibbana, he will continue to be reborn in various births, an endless journey through samsara. The samsara in which the origin cannot be seen. Each person in the past have experienced the worldly pleasures and pleasures in the heavens. But today they are of no use, not valuable even as dreams seen in the night. How much worldly pleasures are enjoyed in the future, it will be same as the past. All these pleasures are futile. Nirvana is a pleasure everlasting that will never perish, the richest pleasure of all. If someone understands dukka or satya, he will realize the pleasure of Vimukti Sukha. How to teach Nirvana? One has to reach Nirvana in 5 progressive steps. 1. Soha. Reaching Nirvana in the first step. The meditative disciple striving for Nirvana attain the first step, Soha. He surpasses the conditions that make the skandhas born in hell and conditions that make skandhas born in sensual realms will be limited to 7 births. The massive heap of suffering that perish and the meager amount of suffering left behind is matched to the amount of soil on the toenail of the Buddha. The cessation of suffering for the first time is reaching Nirvana for the first time. 2. Sakradagami. Reaching Nirvana for the second time. After attaining Soha, he will be born in Kama Bhava, sensual realms, only 7 times. When attaining Sakradagami, the skandhas of 6 births will end up. He will be born again once in Kama Bhava. The cessation of the conditions of skandhas of 6 births is reaching Nirvana for the second time. 3. Anagami. Reaching Nirvana for the third time. When one reaches Anagamihood, the chances of his skandhas born only once in a sensual realm also ceases. After that, no more birth in sensual realm, Kama Bhava. 4. Arahatya. Reaching Nirvana for the 4th time. When the Anagami striving further attains the state of Arahatya, here all skandhas born in realms of form or formless cease. Such a one would not be born anywhere. This is reaching Nirvana for the 4th time. 5. Parinirvana. Reaching Nirvana for the 5th time. Having reached Nirvana for the 4th time, the Arhat mendicant has only skandhas in the present generated by a past cause. With Parinibbana, present skandhas dissociate. This is reaching Nirvana for the 5th time. There are 2 forms of Nirvana. He who attains Soha, Sakradagami, Anagami, Arahatya has not fully freed from dukka, as the skandhas exist till death. Considering the skandha remaining, the Nirvana so far attained is Sopadisesha Nirvana. Considering the demolition of all existing skandhas and nothing is remaining anymore, the ultimate death of the being is called Anupadisesha Nirvana.